Welcome to level 2. In this level, I'm going to show you how to move governance knowledge into governance action. Nonprofits spend a lot of time on board training, yet every time there's a change in membership, it seems like the board starts over. So my goal for today's micro learning is to help you understand how to take steps to create a governance action culture. So we're going to walk through this quick worksheet to help you see the difference. So the left-hand column is the knowing governance. That's head knowledge. It's what we learn, but translating that into action is where a lot of boards fall off in their progress. So showing governance is about implementing what you've learned. It's about making it stick in real practice. So example, I've read the bylaws. Most board members read the bylaws, but then don't bring it into the boardroom. So a way you could do that is to say, our bylaws say officer terms are 2 years. What progress have we made on our succession plan for replacing those positions? That is a question that helps to get the work moving forward. Another example, the board's role is oversight, not management. That is true. But as oversight, the board can ask governance questions against that, such as, this feels operational, but what questions as a board do we have about the impact on strategy? How do we know it's moving us closer to the strategy? How do we know we're doing the right things? Those are governance showing questions. Another example, we have a 5-year plan. Organizations say this often, we have a plan as though they're done. As a governance role, showing governance in action would be, before we decide, how does this decision or this step help align with our priorities, help align with our mission, help move us closer and make progress to our mission? I understand the budget. So when you get those reports, those fiscal reports, and part of the report, as an example, is revenue is 10% lower. The governance question is, what do we understand about why it's lower? How will we make adjustments? Is this a one-time situation? Is this something we ought to be planning ahead for so that this doesn't happen to us again? How will we replace that revenue, etc.? And finally, we measure outcomes. I hear a lot of talk about outcomes, but I don't hear a lot of data behind it and a lot of questions about understanding what that data means. So a governance question might be, we reached 700 out of 1,000 families. What did we learn? What do we understand about what behavior changed? What do we understand about the difference between the 700 that engaged and the 300 that didn't? What do we understand about why it matters they engaged? What does that really mean when it comes to our mission and achieving the impact that we want to achieve? So this worksheet is in your deck here. And to make the learning stick, I want to give you a chance to practice right away. But first, read the "What should I do" section and answer the question that follows. I'm going to ask you to pause for a minute or two and complete the reading and question right beneath this video. And please don't worry about perfection. This is where you start building those mental muscles for putting governance into action. See you in a few minutes. So how was it? And if you had difficulty, I don't want you to worry about that. You are building new mental muscles. This is going to take time and repetition, and you're going to need to keep it in front of yourselves and your board members to make this change so it becomes second nature. And speaking of board members, when you're finished completing this level, go to level 3 and learn why it matters you share this with your board.